Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Better Late Than Never podcast. I have been away for a couple of weeks because I've been a little bit busy and honestly just coming up with content for you guys of what I wanted to talk about. I feel like there's just been so much on my heart lately and so much going on in my life that I just want to find the best things to talk to you guys about, stuff that will actually matter and maybe inspire you or teach you something. And I love talking about pop culture and stuff going on around the farm. But I do like to dive a little bit deeper here and there, and I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts that I've been loving lately that are truly inspiring. And so just trying to think of where I want to go with everything, but I'm back and I've got my my little scratch paper of topics, so I'm just winging it like I always do. But yeah, so last weekend I was at a women's retreat for my church. And it was so lovely. We spent the weekend. It was out in, I was about to say the wilderness, but I feel like that's a little out there. It was out at these cabins, and so it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but not really. I kind of already live out in the middle of nowhere, so it's I'm used to it. So I had my little Columbia hiking boots and some comfy clothes, and then I feel like I have a hair in my mouth, y'all. I'm so sorry. But me and all my girlfriends drove down together, and we had a little cabin together, so it was really fun, and basically just spent the weekend with a bunch of other Christian women, and it was really chill. It wasn't if you've never been on a women's retreat, you probably are what even does that consist of? So the last time I went on a retreat was in high school, and it's always usually somewhere kind of peaceful where you can spend quiet time outdoors with the Lord. And yeah, so that's basically what it was. And a bunch of like-minded women where you can really learn from each other and hear each other's stories. So it was really cute. Me and my friend had matching shirts that I had got from the TikTok shop, actually, which y'all, the TikTok shop has a hold on me lately. I am always down for a good deal, and a lot of their stuff is actually really, really good, but that's off topic. So yeah, we had our own little t-shirts that matched, that had a Bible verse on them. It's an Exodus verse, I believe. And so we took a lot of cute pictures, and then across the street was this little pond with pews and a cross, and it was super beautiful, so serene. I put some pictures on my Instagram, so y'all definitely have to go check them out. But yeah, it was really just time to spend time with the Lord and away from your home life and distractions. And growing up, I had a youth pastor, the one that basically discipled me, and he would always tell us you need to find a spot where you can always go and be with the Lord and talk to the Lord and pray and have no distractions. And for me, that was always out in nature, somewhere really pretty where I can hear the birds chirp and feel the wind blow and just be one with God's creation. And so I sat out on that there was a little deck by the pond. Rebel says hi, and he missed me that weekend. If you guys are watching on YouTube, Rebel has entered the chat. Rebel is my bloodhound. He's 5 years old, and he is just a little stinker muffin, and he's doing so much better since being attacked by a dog, aren't you, baby? Um, so I sat out on the little deck by the pond, and I just laid out and had my Bible open, and it was a beautiful day. It was so lucky because it's been so cold. Obviously we're in January, so it was like actually like really nice. It was like 70 degrees. But anyway, the whole theme of the retreat was just rest. Like we all came together to have a weekend of rest. And there's a difference between worldly rest and like rest in the Lord. So like when people usually think rest, they think like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap, or I'm gonna lay down, or I'm gonna not do anything, I'm gonna be lazy. But when the Lord talks about rest in the Bible, he's talking about like which I should have totally brought my notes from the retreat. I'm so ill prepared, but I'm gonna try my best to just speak from the heart. But just like rest in submission with him. So like don't harden your heart, or just be like happy with wow, see, like it's all in my head and like I can't get the words out properly, but basically like so right now I feel like I'm super just on fire for the Lord right now, and it wouldn't be without all of the things that I had to go through to get to where I am right now, like my breakup and moving out and being on my own and living alone, and like I could just be so just in my feelings, and just I could harden my heart and be like, you know, Lord, why did you put me in this situation? Like, why am I so alone? And I'm just gonna be so raw with you guys. Like the other day I was scrolling through TikTok in my bed, and I came across this video of a woman. She was in labor. She was in the hospital. She was in the hospital bed. She was literally going into labor and having her baby. And the husband was there with her, and they were both crying, and he was just like so sweet. And there was like this beautiful background music, and it was so just like wholesome and beautiful. And I'm 29 years old, and a huge desire of my heart is to have a husband and obviously be in love and have children. And especially with the community that I have, a lot of them are pregnant, a lot of them are married, some of them are, kind of in that honeymoon stage with their boyfriends, or they just found out they're pregnant, so they just gave an announcement to the group that they're pregnant. And it's like, as much as I love being in that atmosphere and being around women like that and just see them going through the amazing things in their life, it does definitely like sting a little bit, because I think every little girl is always gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be married by 25 and have kids by 29. I feel like everybody does that. Like they all have their own little agenda planned out, super normal. And especially with me being in such a long relationship, I always thought like that was the person I was gonna marry, and it was gonna, my fairy tale was coming sooner than later, and clearly that's not the case. And when I saw that TikTok, I literally just broke down. Like I just started bawling my eyes out, and like just literally out loud asking God, I'm like, why? Like, why am I alone? Why can't I find somebody who is like that for me, who is just so like in love with me and wants a family and wants to have a baby and is just all in? And I feel like I could not be more ready for it. And obviously it hits the hardest when you're lonely, and I'm alone most of the time now. Like I really am, if I'm not at work or if I'm not at church with my church friends, I'm alone. And so it's just, you know, it's something that I have to rest in and be okay with, and know that the Lord has like a perfect plan, and it's going to be perfectly timed. And if it's in the Lord's will, nothing will stop it from happening. And so that's just where I'm at right now. I'm definitely 1,000% in that waiting period of my life. And it's called a waiting period for a reason, because you're literally just waiting around and you feel like, oh my gosh, my time is never gonna come, and I'm always gonna be single, and I'm always gonna be alone. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I am definitely one of those people where my heart hardens so quickly, because I was abandoned at a young age by my own mother. So like sometimes I'm like, well, if my mom can do that, if my mom can just up and leave me, and um like anybody can. And if like one thing is done wrong in a relationship, even in a friendship with me, like if something is said that just doesn't, like, it doesn't feel right, then I like am immediate to harden my heart. And that's another thing that like the Lord doesn't want you to do, is to not harden your heart, because that's when you're not moving forward. That's when you're not growing as a person. So yeah, that's just me being like completely raw on where I'm at in my life. But like I said, I'm so on fire for the Lord right now, and I'm obsessed with him. He's all I think about. And it's like, even though I don't have a romantic relationship at the moment, I have a spiritual, godly, the most amazing, consuming, loving relationship with my God and my King. So if you're listening to this and you are either a new Christian or you're not a Christian, and you're just like open to learning and growing, and maybe you just don't know where to start, and I feel like the Bible can definitely be like an intimidating thing for sure. Like, it's, first of all, it's a really big book and has really small words and has a lot of big words and a lot of sentences that might make zero sense to you. And it's intimidating. It really is. And then, like, especially if you don't truly believe, you're like, how do I believe something that I don't even understand? So I just want to encourage you to definitely start with the Bible, because, or find somebody, or, well, of course, join a church. And joining a church takes time. You're not going to walk in, I mean, you might, but a lot of times people have to go to multiple churches to find the right one. And I've heard so many people say like, no, I don't go to church anymore because I feel judged when I leave, or I feel judged by the people who are there, or I just didn't feel welcomed. You're gonna have to try multiple churches until you find one that you feel welcome in and you feel like you fit in. And I'm so sorry for anybody who has gone to a church and hasn't felt welcome, because I truly just cannot understand that at all. Because I mean, my church, like, every time I walk in, I feel like I'm a part of the family, and I feel not judged in the slightest. And I just get a smile from every single person that I walk by, and that's how it should be. So I am truly sorry for anybody who has walked into a church and felt any of that, because that's just wild. But I do believe it. Like, trust me, I believe it. there's some corrupt churches out there for sure. But yeah, try to find a church. Especially my church, but most churches, they have like a welcoming to new people. They will have like after church you can get together and they'll introduce themselves, or like with mine we have groups. So like my group of girls that I talk about a lot, like we meet every Wednesday night. So you definitely need community, and you need to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who will give you good advice, godly advice, and not just what you want to hear, and who will be there for you when you're going through the hard things and that you can open up about, and just feel so welcomed and so loved. So start with that, and then definitely purchase a Bible if you don't have one. And I think it does make all the difference, the version of the Bible that you get. So there's tons of different versions of the Bible. I mean, there's like the King James version that's like really hard to understand, and then there's like I don't want to say like dumbed down version, but the version where like maybe a child could read it, you know what I mean? I have the NIV version, which I really like because it's not like, it's easy to understand, but it's not too far off from like the original version of the Bible, so that like it's not too dumbed down. So try that out, and then just start reading. When you will start to create a relationship with the Lord once you start reading that Bible, because you're going to start learning about him, and there's no possible way that you will not start to feel closer to him once you start reading the Bible and you start reading his word and the miracles that he created and how he created us, and how the devil can construe morality and just really put himself in our lives in multiple different ways, and the devil can persuade us in good ways too. And once you start to read and learn, it's gonna change your life. Like, I truly believe the most joyous people on this planet are Christians, and Christians who are on fire for the Lord and know the Lord and speak to him every day and get in his word every day. Like, you really will see your life change dramatically once you start living your life for the Lord. Like, the little things that might have aggravated you or pissed you off before you came to the Lord will not even faze you, guys. Like, once you have the Lord, you just nothing can bother you. I mean, of course you're gonna have days where you're like moody or whatever, but like I don't even know how to explain it, but like when God is in your heart and has a hold of your heart, you're walking on sunshine. Like, you are such a bright light to the world, and then you can start to disciple people, because that's what we are truly called to do, is to disciple. And that can come in so many different ways. Like, as a Christian, like, you'll be like walking, like, let's just say you're walking down the street and you just see somebody, and you just have this overwhelming feeling like, oh my gosh, like, so I feel something, like, I feel like I need to speak to this person. I feel like the Lord is telling me to go talk to this person. And like, you will just have crazy moments like that where you have like this overwhelming sense that like you need to go talk to a person. And then you go, and once you obey the Lord, especially, because that's hard, y'all. Like, that is hard. When you just have a feeling, you're like, it could be the Lord or it could be me going crazy, to speak to somebody, and then you speak to them and you find out they are going through this crazy thing with their family, or they have they just came like diagnosed with a disease, and and they've been needing somebody to pray for them, or needing somebody to notice them, or needing somebody to even speak to them because they're lonely and they don't have anybody in their life. And it's just crazy how the Lord works. Like, it is truly a different walk of life. It's such a different walk of life when you just let go of all of that sin and you repent and you just give yourself to the Lord. It's just, I cannot explain how just peaceful that is. And this is not even what I, planned on talking about today, but it's just what's on my heart. And yeah, so get your Bible, join that church. So when I read the Bible, I will use there's a podcast called the Bible Podcast. She also has it in a book form, but podcasts are huge right now, obviously. So you just look up the Bible recap is what it is called, and she will literally break it down chronologically, and she'll do like a few verses a day, but you read those verses and then you go to the Bible recap, listen to what she has to say, and she just breaks it down for you. So even if you read it and you didn't, like, you kind of understood it, but you didn't really understand it, she will go through that with you, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, like that was a lot more easy to understand than I really thought. And then that way you don't feel like you're just reading something to read it. You actually are understanding it, and you're actually understanding what the meaning of it is and why it's so important. There's another app on your phone. We use it a lot in my church group. It's called Enduring Word, but it also basically is like a study guide for you. So it'll break down all the verses for you, and then it will like also tell you other little facts that happened during that time period, or what led up to that, or what happened after that. So those are definitely some helpful little things you can do, or you can just get a study Bible. There's so many Bibles that are meant for that purpose, is to have like little commentaries so that you can truly understand what you're reading. So that's that tangent, but we all know that Valentine's Day is literally a few days away. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Valentine's Day and the season of singleness. And so, of course, obviously, I'm single, like we just talked about. Valentine's Day is coming up. I actually love Valentine's Day. And I don't know, I think maybe it's because of all the cute colors. I don't know, I really love Easter as well because all the little pastel colors, and obviously, like, it's a Christian holiday. But Valentine's Day, I've always loved it. My dad, so my dad grew up single I grew up with a single dad for a little while, in between my mom leaving, which there's a whole other podcast about that too, guys, about my mom, and then my stepmom coming in the picture. But he would send me like packages to my school, my elementary school, with like teddy bears and chocolates. And my dad always made me feel really special on Valentine's Day. And I feel like it doesn't have to just be like a romantic holiday. It doesn't have to be just for like relationships. Like, I feel like it can truly be for friendship, or Galentine's Day, of course. Like, I'm having a Galentine's Day on Wednesday, and I'm making strawberry cheesecake bites, so I'm really excited about that. And then like all the little, like the pink and the red, I just love it. But yeah, I mean, I'm reading my notes right now. What did I even write? I can't even read that. Oh. But if you're single on Valentine's Day and you're bummed about it, girl, don't be. It's totally fine. It's just one day, and I think it's like just like a worldly holiday that was, I don't really know why Valentine's Day was made. Does anybody else know what that came from? What's the history of Valentine's Day? Like, I know there's like Cupid, but I'm like just wondering, was it just a way to love one another? I don't know. But yeah, basically just navigating singleness and I kind of already like went over it a little bit, but even at 29 years old, guys, you can be single and you can be fine, and you'll be fine, and you'll be okay. I'm like me just trying to convince myself that I'm gonna be fine. No, but if you don't have anything planned or you don't have a Valentine's Day, it's totally fine. Just go to the store, buy yourself some flowers and buy yourself some chocolate and a teddy bear, and put on The Notebook or Mean Girls or a horror movie for all we care. Because it'll be okay. Trust me. With that, farm tours. This is totally a new subject. We're moving on from singleness and all of that, but it is about to be farm tour season on the farm. What does that mean? So, for those of you who don't know, I work on a farm. I live on a farm. I am a farm girl, and we do farm tours. So, when it gets warmer out, we will have like kids come out to the farm and we'll like show them around the farm. It's really, really fun. So we have like a chicken coop, we have a donkey, goats, peacocks, cows, horses, literally every single farm animal you can think of we have on this stinking farm. But it's so much fun, and I love kids. I want a kid really bad right now. Like, I really want a baby girl. I would be fine with a boy, but I really want a baby girl so bad. But honestly, the farm tours are a little bit of a source of birth control for me because they be wildin', like wildin'. And so my thing is I will teach the kids about chicken and eggs. So they come and we have this big chicken coop and we have like the eggs in there, and I'll be like, who here has chickens of their own? And of course, sometimes some of them will raise their hand and some of them won't, and they get really excited. And I'm like, that's okay. We're going to collect eggs. And so we'll have all the eggs like in the little chicken boxes where they lay their eggs, and the kids will go in, grab their eggs, and then I'll teach them. So we used to have 2 turkeys. Like, I named the turkeys Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and unfortunately they were murdered because it's the circle of life, you guys, and I have to keep telling myself that because I get attached to these animals. And we had 2 white turkeys. They were so stinking cool, you guys, like so cool. And they ended up loving me, the turkeys did. And so I could get all up in their face. Like, I would get like literally all up in their face. They wouldn't even care. You could pet them, you could hug them. They were crazy. But unfortunately they died. But before they died, I would always like have the kids do like a turkey talk. I'd be like, do you guys know what turkeys sound like? And then they would be like, blah, 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 or whatever they thought a turkey sounded like. And y'all, sometimes these kids would say some crazy things. Like, I don't even know. I would be asked like the craziest questions like about animals, and I wish I could think of one right now, but so cute. And they could like pet the turkeys. I know so many turkey facts. I know so many chicken facts and egg facts. I'll save those for another day. But if you ever need, or if you ever have any questions about chickens, turkeys, or eggs, or really any other kind of farm animal, hit me up. I am your girl. Hang on, guys. I gotta fix my recording. Okay. So, actually, I'm going to give you guys a little egg fact for fun. So, when an egg is laid, it is laid with this seal around it called a bloom. And basically what it does is it protects the egg, and also you can keep the eggs in room temperature for up to 3 weeks without refrigerating them. That is if you don't wash the bloom off, because the bloom will protect it. But if you wash the eggs, you have to put them in the fridge. So if you have chickens, your eggs can stay out on your counter for up to 3 weeks unwashed. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I like care deeply for these animals. I'm such an animal lover. Like, I will every Friday I go down there and I rake the chicken coop. I get really nasty. I have a designated pair of hen house boots because I get chicken crap all over them, and I ain't trying to ruin, like, I for so long was like just wearing my regular shoes down there. Absolute terrible idea, because I would ruin all of my shoes going down there, because like dirt, chicken poop, turkey poop, y'all, and peacock poop, disgusting. Okay. And I go down there and I rake out the hen house, because if you don't rake out your chicken coop, your stinking chickens and your ducks will get bumblefoot, and that's happened a lot because of all the bacteria. And I'm just like spitting random facts at you guys at this point. And so, I mean, we have farm hands that could do these things, but they leave it to me for some reason. For some reason, they leave it to me because they know that I actually care the most. But yeah, I'll go down there, I'll rake. And then we have goats. We have 2 twin baby goats. They're so stinking cute, but they'll poop all over another part of the hen house, and so I'll rake that. And so Fridays, I be stinking like crazy, but it's okay because it's the hen house day. But anyway, yeah, farm tour season. So get ready for lots of farm life content. We do like wagon rides, which are really fun. We get all the kids up on this tractor that pulls this big old wagon ride with hay on it, and we go around the farm, and then we work the cows. So they fly spray the cows. They will ear tag some of the calves in front of the kids so they can just see. They can see what the farm life is about. So yeah, we love farm tour season. We also love spring. And according to the groundhog, spring is coming, and I'm excited. So, and then last but not least, you guys, we've talked about navigating, well, we've kind of talked about navigating singleness, and talked about the Lord, which is my favorite thing to talk about. We talked about farm tour season. I did, I always love to throw a little pop culture in there. But the Grammys, y'all. So I wrote the Grammys down in my notes. I didn't watch it, so there's only so much I can say. I have a weird thing about watching award shows. Like, I used to love growing up, like in high school and stuff. I loved watching like the VMAs because, I had all my little favorite people like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus and, the usual. And I don't watch them anymore because they just started to get so woke and so like, especially that one, I don't remember, was it the VMAs? The one where like Sam Smith was like doing that demonic performance. Ooh, that was rough. That was rough. I mean, I just cannot believe they are so bold. Actually, I can believe, because the devil is wild. The devil is wild. Okay, he will do what he needs to do to put himself out there, I reckon. But yeah, after that Sam Smith performance, and even back in the day when Ariana Grande did her God is a Woman, oh my gosh, I hate that. I hate it, because to me, it's like blasphemy, in my opinion. And she had like the whole setup was like, the performance was like the Last Supper. So it just, those things really rubbed me the wrong way, obviously. But I don't know. Y'all tell me, was the Grammys kind of demonic this year? Like, I feel like there's always they throw a little something in there. There's always a little something. I did see like some clips, of course, here and there, like Miley Cyrus. She is electric. I do like Miley Cyrus. Grew up on her, watching Hannah Montana, of course. But I thought her performance was pretty good. I heard a lot about how like the audience was just like sitting down, not really like getting into it very much. But and then she was like, "Don't act like y'all don't know this song." I think that's pretty funny. And then like Taylor Swift was there. She was up and dancing, but I think Taylor Swift just likes attention, so that's probably why she was the only one standing up. But that's just me. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about award shows? I think award shows are necessary because I mean, like actresses and actors and singers, like they deserve to be awarded for their performances. So I mean, I get the point, but I think they need to just keep it what it's about. It's about awarding people, and then also awarding the people who deserve it the most. I heard a lot about how like certain people are just picked, and there's like other performances that were like so much more. I mean, we had the whole Beyonce, Kanye West, Taylor Swift thing way back in the day. That's pretty funny, to be honest, but it was because he thought that Beyonce's performance, which was what, Single Girls video, so that must have been the VMAs too, but he thought the Single Ladies music video was better than the You Belong With Me music video. I love how I know these things. Like, I'm still hip. Anyway, I'll leave it with that, guys. I know that like, or I hope that this doesn't come off boring. I really just like to get on here and speak about what's on my heart. And I do want to have guests soon. Obviously, I was gonna, like I said, have Sarah on the other weekend, but my dog got attacked. So that kind of was messed up, but at least I got to share a little bit with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you subscribe and follow. You can find me on Instagram at Alexis Noel. That's Alexis with 2 S's, and then Noella spelled Noelle. But that should be linked in my bio. Thank you guys for watching, and come back and see me again.